Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Alan Shearer, Micah Richards and me, Gary Lineker. After all the excitement in the build-up, we're finally underway with Euro 2024. It's been a long wait. We're all out together in Berlin. It's our first show from our nice little studio in the centre of the city. And we've just watched Germany, cruise past Scotland. No pun intended. In terms of Tony Cruz. We'll get into that game in detail in just a minute. But first, it's great to be here, Mike.
Oh, it's delightful. Yeah. I arrived this morning.
Late.
Hold on. We didn't plan to do a podcast, did we? So I wasn't late. Okay. My call time was today.
All right.
I'm not working until tomorrow. So I was on time.
Okay.
A day early, actually, Alan. If that's all right with you.
If you had came yesterday, like me and Gary, then you'd been.
Well, I had to do,
All right,
I had to
you're
keep
doing other
the
things.
money flowing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know we like your cooking and whatnot, and in your house in London, you've been tip top. But the question was, could you do it in a cold night in Berlin?
On a Friday night.
Friday night! Ooh, cooking up the stove!
But the stove, no, there's no pots to go in the stove. The stove doesn't.
Oh, you're out your comfort zone.
It's good to be tested.
Because you was floundering. I'm not going to lie, you was floundering for a good 30 minutes today. Okay, now, Gas. He can't play away from home. Look at him.
Well, obviously I've got new equipment here, and the oven doesn't function.
Oh, so you're blaming your tools? Interesting.
I'm not blaming anything. Are you saying I let you down?
Hold on. No. I've not said that yet. I'm just saying you were struggling for at least 30 minutes.
I was struggling. The fire alarm went off 3 times because we couldn't work out this.
I wasn't sure what alarm that was, or the fire alarm, and Micah opened his wallet.
But I was cooking for about 12 hours, wasn't it?
Was you nervous? You were sweating.
No, I wasn't nervous. I was sweating because we couldn't get anything to work, the oven or anything. But anyway, I got the hob. I cooked it in a totally different way. But sometimes you've got to adapt to circumstances, Micah.
Yes.
The food came out. We got a lot of veggies in tonight, so I did a kind of Sri Lankan curry, like a vegan number with rice.
Who's veggie? Who's veggie?
At my partner Tony,
we was all expecting chicken.
His 2 boys. They're both veggies as well.
Is it vegan or veggie? There's a difference. I mean,
well, this dish was actually both.
Okay.
So
Can we get chicken next time?
It was nice, though.
Is that too much to ask?
We'll have to wait till Tony buggers off.
It was nice though, wasn't it?
But I must say,
hang on.
Wasn't it lovely?
It was marvellous.
Wasn't it?
Marvellous.
Sri Lankan curry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
recipe? Have we got any
Micah, when we're
recipe? What did you have in there?
What was in? There was sweet potato, butternut squash, all sorts of
Turmeric.
peppers, chilies, turmeric.
When we're both sat in the bog, later on, you'll be knowing what.
What, together? That'd be weird.
Hold on. You don't know what we do in our spare time.
And I'm not in a curry to know.
It was very nice, thank you.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
I heard you dinner last night without big meats. What happened at dinner?
Well, you weren't there. We had food, funnily enough, and wine. It flowed quite freely. Didn't get in till quite late. Ashley Williams was there. David Moyes, who's part of our BBC team, which obviously we're looking forward to doing the coverage. We had no games on the opening day because ITV got the Scotland-Germany game. Just to remind people how it works, ITV, BBC share the competition. It alternates between tournaments about who gets to pick first. On this occasion, it was ITV who had the first pick. BBC got the second pick and ITV third, and so on and so forth. And it sort of works generally that the broadcasters decide on what they go for. ITV, when their first pick was the first semi-final, which means they're gambling on a host nation, obviously England, to get to that semi-final. BBC, we countered with the first quarter-final, which we hope will be England. ITV went last 16, first pick of whatever that game may be, and then it goes right through. And then obviously one of ITV's first picks was, understandably, the opening game, Germany against Scotland. And that's where we are. But you've already been doing a bit of homework, Mikey. Didn't you go and see a certain Silvino?
Yes, actually.
The Albanian coach?
I didn't see him. I FaceTimed him.
Oh.
I FaceTimed Pablo Zabaleta.
Yeah, and he was with Silvino at the time.
Yeah,
and he answered your call, did he?
Yeah, he did actually. We're different now. He's gone down a different path to me.
You played with both.
I played with
both
Silvino
of them were at City, weren't they?
and Zabaleta.
Yeah.
Silvino, a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he went into management though. He knows the game really well, but I thought he would just retire.
Give you a bit of insight because that's our first game on the BBC tomorrow night.
He said
8 o'clock kickoff.
Broja is looking sharp.
Yeah.
Aslani in midfield as well. Midfielder, he said, is really good as well. But they're confident.
Yeah.
They're confident. I think when he first took the job, he didn't know what to expect. He said he was watching the videos and he said they've got some really good quality players. And yeah, they're looking forward to the tournament.
I think we all are. We went up, we had a little trip to our studios,
Which
is amazing because your first ever tournament with the BBC, am I right, Alan, was here in
2006.
Berlin. And pretty much the same spot
almost
that we were. We're overlooking the Brandenburg Gate.
Yeah.
And
it's a great spot.
It's a great spot. They've done a
really
great
good.
job at the BBC.
How did he do? How did he do his first tournament?
Alan?
Yeah.
Dull, boring.
Can we get to this? Let's get to the
I would
the
say
proper
he
stuff
didn't
first, shall we?
quite burst onto the scene.
Oh yeah, so he's no Micah Richards. He's no Big Meats. Is that what we're saying?
I didn't spend hours on my analysis like some people.
Yeah, well,
Prep.
No, absolutely.
He's a pro.
He's a pro. But
yeah.
sorry, before I really interrupted you.
That's fine. Yeah, you've been doing your analysis already for Italy, Albania, haven't you?
I'm ready for tomorrow.
And for England as well, I gather.
And for England.
It's called professionalism.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah.
You've gone big time
did
now.
you just call him professionalism?
No, I told you it was called.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's a slight difference, but I would say that's very professional of you, Micah.
Correct. It is.
Absolutely right. Let's discuss the game we've just seen. Scotland. Well, I mean, they were thumped. They really were, weren't they?
Yeah, but before we go into that, what did I tell you about Wirtz and Musiala?
No.
We've got pods going back for a year. How long have we been doing this?
Yeah.
It's got to be a year now. I said Wirtz early doors, and he was like, "Yeah,
I think if we go back in the records, I think I mentioned Wirtz.
That is not true. That is so untrue.
I think you're bringing out the Wurst in yourself here.
Outstanding, wasn't he?
He was excellent, but I thought Musiala was the best player on the pitch. Personally, I thought he was electric.
Tony Cruz.
Yeah, but Tony Cruz, we know what we get with Tony Cruz. He passes it around, but I thought Musiala was incredibly sharp. I thought both Musiala and Wirtz were brilliant.
We just think we could have had him for England.
Musiala, yeah, but let's take credit. England can say basically that they had a player that beat Scotland. Yeah.
How bad was Scotland, by the way?
Do you know what? I've met so many of their supporters in Berlin. I got the train here. So
did you?
Yeah, I came. Yeah, at St Pancras, there was so many Scottish people there, and they were all so lovely. And amazing how many of them said they loved the pod, by the way. So, and they were so excited. But they said it doesn't matter. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, I love the fact that when they got the goal, obviously it was an own goal. And they actually didn't have a shot on target in the whole game. So that doesn't count when it's an own goal. And the Scottish fans started singing, You're not singing anymore. And I just thought, I mean, that was very funny.
They were outstanding. I mean, I was like you. I didn't get the train. I flew here. But at Heathrow yesterday, the number of Scots in Heathrow Airport in great form, having a laugh, great behaviour. And they were brilliant, and even watching the match tonight, and listening to them. I mean, the anthem and everything before, and they were outstanding. But then their team was very.
Did you get noticed coming on
just a little
on the
bit,
flight?
yeah.
Did you wear a cap?
I wore a cap, but it was pointless.
No, really.
But they were all really good fun.
Are you nice when people ask you for a picture?
Yeah. What do you mean I'm nice?
I mean, yeah, because
I'm not like you.
Years ago, you wasn't great, was you? Yeah, he was a bit. Yeah.
Fuck off.
Swear Ellen's back. It didn't take long.
It did not take long. I mean, I did feel that for the supporters because they want a glimmer of something, and obviously they had the goal towards the end. But I mean, Germany were very good. Very good.
Very good.
But I think as their fans, they've all made this effort to come in. They would have wanted something, wouldn't they? Yeah. Like some kind of. I mean, they just sat back. Yeah. They didn't engage. They didn't press. Or were they just too good for them? I mean, they were too good for them. But could they have done more?
I think you mentioned it while I was watching the game. Shea Adams, which you're probably going to talk about a little bit tomorrow when we're doing the BBC. But you can talk it from a striker's point of view. But just they were so deep.
Yeah.
And it's like they didn't have a plan what to do. You know, you're playing against a good Germany side. on home soil, what was the plan before? You talk about tactics so much, don't we? And what did they try to do? I couldn't see what they was trying to do. It's almost like they was a little bit nervous. I thought the pressure would have been on the Germany side, being at home. The onus is on them to break the game down. But yeah, I just thought Scotland, they just didn't turn up in the vital moment.
It ended up being the biggest ever win in the opening match of any host nation. It was Germany's biggest ever win at the Euros. Scotland, as I said earlier, didn't have a single shot on target. And it's Scotland's heaviest defeat in the Euros since 1954. And no, I wasn't at that game.
It was just it was a terrible night for them. I think without doubt their fans would have expected a little bit more. I would imagine that was the worry that could happen. It could have been more. And we'll probably show something tomorrow night. But I just, if you're a forward with Che Adams, it's gonna be really. It's a really difficult situation. I've been in it. You're up front on your own. You're getting battered. You're not seeing hardly any of the ball. So what you have to then try and do is you have to try and affect the game in a different way. In terms of when they have the ball, you as a forward have to try and press and show them the angle that you want to force them into your players to try and. Yet, it seemed to me as if Germany, their defenders just had the freedom to do and go wherever they want. Like, there was hardly any pressure on the ball.
Would you blame Che Adams? No, would you blame the tactics of Scotland, or would you blame the fact that perhaps they were just too defensive-minded, a little bit fearful, so therefore they stuck back? Because we all know, don't we? When you play really, really deep, the problem is, even if you're very well organised, you manage to keep a clean sheet for a while, which they didn't, which made it even worse, is that when you eventually get the ball, there's no way out.
There's nowhere to go.
There's no one to give it to. Your forward's got to stay up the pitch. But is that managerial instructions? Or
they've worked on it for so long that those tactics. Then when you concede an early goal, those tactics are worthless because all of a sudden there's no point in sitting and defending because you're 1-0 down. You've got to try at least and get out somehow. And yet whenever Scotland had the ball, there was no out. No. It was a matter of how quick are Germany going to get the ball back and then go and attack them again. And that was a constant during the game. Yeah, it was a really flat, disappointing, horrible performance, I thought, from Scotland, albeit Germany were really impressive. Micah's mentioned the players that were right at it and they went after them right from the start, didn't they? I felt that if they could have kept it for 25, 30 minutes quiet, then you might have got one or two moans and groans, but there was never ever that, and they were a million miles better than Scotland.
Could they have done anything else tactically to have competed better?
It's hard, isn't it? Because the quality is massive. Obviously, the players that we mentioned, Germany, before, and the individual quality they have. I just think, going back to Alan's point, you've got to nullify a weakness. So if you've got 4 players in defence for Germany, who is the weakest on the ball? Yeah. And who doesn't like to come out with the ball? Who can't break the lines? And that's what you have to set up traps. Yeah. But exactly like Alan said, from a striker's point of view, because he was so tired, when Scotland eventually got the ball...
But he was also in his own anyway.
He was on his own. But Alan's completely right. If I'm a defender and he's showing me one way and I don't want to be on my left foot, I would do that. But every time he got the ball, he was so tired, he wasn't in the right positions to show him the right way. So it was just disappointing from... But they'll bounce back. Yeah. We believe in the Scots.
Well, this was always going to be the most difficult game.
Of course it was.
A fantastic start for the host nation. I mean, obviously they went into this tournament. Probably, if you look back only 3 or 4 months ago, you'd have said about Germany that they've really struggled. They've done really poorly in recent competitions. Failed to get through the group stages, obviously in the World Cup. Lacking in confidence. The manager was out. Nagelsmann came in. Wasn't much change. Lost at home I think it was 4-1 against Japan. But since then, there's been a recovery. Obviously, they've still got really good players. Mm-hmm. But they've now, the start of the tournament, people start to go, well, It's Germany, and they're the host nation. Home crowd behind them. And now this thumping victory, albeit against a Scotland team that didn't perform. Do we think Germany have now become one of the favourites? Or were they always one of the favourites?
Well, I always felt that. I don't think they're a great team, but I felt with the backing of the crowd that if they get on a bit of a roll, they'll be difficult to stop. Yeah. And it was almost a perfect night for them. Because
can you start too quickly, too well?
No. Because you want to get. How many times you say you want to get off to a good start. Yeah. You want to, as individuals, you want to get out. You want to score. You want to put in good performance. You want to go and set the tone for the rest of the tournament. You want to get the crowd behind you. So, from that point of view, no, you can't start too quickly. But what I would say is that it's been almost a perfect night for them because you had Musiala putting in a great performance. You had Kroos, who was superb. You had Havertz scoring. And then when they make changes, Fulker comes on, he scores. Jan comes on, he scores. So everything that is almost perfect for them tonight. And they were really, really impressive. And that's all you can do as a player and as a country. We want to get off to a good start, and they've done just that.
Peak too soon?
No, they're not pictures. They're brilliant. I think they're good tactical tweak as well. We've seen Gundogan for Man City and even for Barcelona playing a little bit deeper, but he was playing like a number 10. Yeah, and they couldn't deal with him at all. I thought the way he was receiving the ball, his passing, the time of his runs was excellent. And obviously got the penalty, did he, with a foul on him from, how do you pronounce his name, Gary? The Scottish fella. Is Porteous?
Ryan Porteous.
Porteous. Is he Scottish?
Well, is he Spanish or something? Is he not
Porteous.
That's better.
Porteous. I thought it'd be a little, Porteous. But Gundogan, he's outstanding, isn't he? I mean, you mentioned all the players there, but Germany, I think they're dark horses.
They're never dark.
But they are though. Would Germany have been in your top 3 before the tournament started? Probably not. So we would have to say they're dark horses.
Oh, yeah, England. I actually said England, Portugal, and then Germany.
Did you?
I've just said
France?
it now.
What about France?
And France. You said 4, didn't you?
3 is a top 3.
I know you did.
And Spain.
Spain. I mean, it depends how much we can read into that, but they look very energetic, their pressing was really excellent. Their 2 young stars both performed, which is important, isn't it? Wirtz was brilliant. We talked about him all season. Musiala we've known about a long time. Mm-hmm. It's funny, isn't it? He grew up playing for England. Yeah, I know. Missed so out, good, and he on playing on that left-hand side as well. He would,
But it's his dribbling that's...
he was electric, wasn't he?
Like a number 10 or number 8, but can play out wide, but can dribble. He's got absolutely everything. Imagine him and Bellingham and Foden in the same team. I'm just wishing, I'm dreaming here. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, England have got some decent players as well in a lot of positions, but I think, Musiala would,
He's different because he's a dribbler.
Yeah.
I think that's a difference.
It is, yeah. Saka's a bit of a dribble on the right-hand side, isn't he? He can do bits,
but
he's
Musiala can do it from central.
Musiala is electrically quick. There's no question. Wirtz we've talked about a lot of times because of his brilliant performances for Leverkusen this season.
Come on, take me back to some of you two's experiences.
Well, I was going to talk about that because of Scotland, right? So Scotland have had an awful start, but it's not how you start a tournament; it's how you finish it. And obviously, or how far you go in the tournament. So for them, it's a terrible victory, but you'd have started out in the tournament slowly. I played in my first World Cup in '86. We lost the first game to Portugal. I mean, I know Portugal's good opposition, but it was a massive blow. And then we drew, and we had to win the third game to get through the group stage. And you rally and you're in it, and especially in this tournament, because obviously there's 4 of the 6 groups. The team that finishes third will go through. So all is not lost, and they've obviously played the best team, the top team in the group already. Yeah. But somehow that's a kind of massive defeat. It's a thumping. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when you rally together, don't you? You go, right, okay. we've been embarrassed, and you somehow want to fight back. And I think that's what happened.
But how do you fight back?
We did the same thing in '88. We lost to the Republic of Ireland, the opening game. I mean, we had the best. We missed chances. I missed a number of really good chances. And then after that, we were equally as crap. And
just about to say
we lost 3-1 against Netherlands, and then we lost 2-0 against Russia. So there you go, Scotland fans. There's still very little hope. I jest, but that was true. But in the '86 one, we rallied and
But what do you do? What do you change to make things better, or try to make?
Well, that's the thing about it. In tournament football. I've said it so many times. You don't end up with the same team that ends the tournament that starts it. So I would imagine he'll probably make 1 or 2 changes, but you've got to realise they haven't got the strength and depth of a lot of the big nations, the big footballing nations in this tournament. They get that. But I think what the Scotland fans will want, they'll want a little bit of determination and grit and effort, and a little bit more of something to cheer. Something.
I think that was as strong as you could go tonight with that 11 that they put out. I don't think they could.
Maybe Billy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Instead of who in the midfield? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. McTominay didn't have his best of games. He's playing a little bit deeper as well.
None of them had the best of games, though,
I know, but just for a little bit of control in midfield, maybe Gilmore, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, just going back to what you said about starting tournaments, and I mean, I'll go back to my tournament. '92 when we were there together, we didn't have a good start. 0-0.
Denmark, wasn't it?
Yeah, and '96 we drew at Wembley against Switzerland.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone's going, doom.
'98 was different. We won our first game, but then 2000 we played Portugal. We 2-0 up, got beaten 3-2.
Oh God, yeah.
So it's like,
what is that dressing like?
It's horrible.
After
it's horrible.
In tournament football, because obviously we have it in our careers in Premier League or Premiership as it used to be called. But when you're in tournament football, how do you then go again?
Well, because all you want is as a team and as an individual, you hear it, so you need to get off to a good start. It's really important to get off to a good start. And if you don't, then the pressure is right on you.
You've got to remember, Micah, that it's not doom and gloom if you lose. It's like miserable. Yeah. But it's not all over. Yeah. It's not the knockout part of the competition. Argentina lost their opening game against Saudi Arabia in the World Cup and went on to win the thing. Yeah. It's horrible and you've got to live with it, and everyone turns against you. Your press, the media, the pundits, everyone chastises you, and you've got to deal with that. But then you've got to rally and somehow try and find a way. But you have got an opportunity. It's not like you're in the last 16 and you have a bad performance, you're out, you're gone. You've got another chance. So you've got to kind of...
Even more so when you just said about the teams that can finish third and still qualify. So, it's not all... Although they'll be bitterly disappointed tonight and really angry with themselves, Scotland. It shouldn't be all doom and gloom just yet.
There's a long way to go.
We're
just starting. We're just having fun.
Yeah.
It's good to be here, though, isn't it?
It's great, isn't it? It is great to be here.
I mean, major tournaments, and to be part of it, broadcasting them, and we'll be in that studio. ITV have got the first 3 games, but we've got Italy, Albania tomorrow night, which
the other 2
we're really looking forward to.
Hungary, Switzerland, 3:00.
Yeah, that's the other 2 teams in the group. I mean, that's the thing, Scotland. There's no kind of what you would say really weak teams in this group. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be difficult because Hungary have they qualify very well. Switzerland always seem to perform relatively well in tournaments. They punch above their weight. So Scotland have got a lot to do, but don't give up hope.
Mm-hmm. Not yet.
It's football, and in football you never know. You really don't. So that's it for today's episode of The Rest is Football. It's great to have the tournament underway, and don't forget we'll be bringing you loads of extra episodes throughout the next month as we guide you through Euro 2024, bringing you all the latest news and reaction, as well as the best gossip that'll mostly come from Micah and stories from out here in Berlin. We'll be back with the next episode tomorrow as we look forward to England's first game.
Come on, England!
Come on, England! Have a great weekend, everyone. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. Have a great weekend.